Hey guys, I've had a lot of questions about our new Dojo Core Curriculum book that just came out. Even though this is considered an in-house video, it's okay if other people see it, that's fine. I'm just going to unpackage this now because they come shrink wrapped, so that's kind of nice for those of you who don't like things that are unshrink wrapped, if you want something a little cleaner. So this is kind of an unboxing here, so to speak. So this book is good quality. It's good quality heavy duty paper with laminate, UV protected, really heavy stock. So this is a core curriculum book that I've been working on for a couple of months. I wrote this. I would have killed to have had this when I was coming up in the ranks in the 1980s. The fact that we can have a curriculum book that we all work with from level beginner white belt all the way to black belt, and then I have other curriculum for those who are black belts, first, second, third, fourth, fifth degree, etc. But this is the core curriculum book that we are now using here at this dojo. We are unique. This is the only dojo I know that combines the old style with the new. So you're not going to see this anywhere else. This is unique to our dojo only. You can't get this at other schools. It's a one-of-a-kind product. So here you have this cool cover with this warrior here, and it says the Dojo Martial Arts Modern and Classical Self-Defense Curriculum. That's the key, modern and classical. You have so much to work on in this book, literally decades of material that you could work on. Core curriculum level 1 through 3. So I'm not going to go through every page here, but this just has the overall thing, place to put your name here. It has a table of contents for 56 pages of material, and there's no filler here. Every one of these pages is completely full of stuff. So you have a welcome here for new students. We go into our goal, our mission statement, what the nin symbol means of ninja, which is kind of inspiring. Martial art training, what it's about, what we teach here. Frequently asked questions about this martial art compared to others. This is not a Bujinkan school. This is my own unique style from having learned old and new style of ninjutsu. This is my idea of my take on everything from 35 years of experience of teaching. So you're not going to see this anywhere else. Things to learn when you're a white belt, when you first come to the dojo. What can you expect so that you're not nervous when you come in? We have the positive student creed that we recite. We have the 14 ethical and moral principles of the warrior. This was written by Stephen Hayes, and I continue to use this because it's a great material. We have our level 1 Earth Foundations curriculum here, requirements for successful training, what to expect, how to advance and pass through your belt colors, what is our belt color system, how to take a test, how to pass any evaluation. We have the things that we're looking for in Japanese and English. We're looking for precision, flow, focus, how to take someone's balance, your general spirit. These are things that are going to help you through your ranking. Our belt licensing system in our school and how it works and how it's different from other ones. We have an entire section in here on etiquette, on how to present yourself on the dojo, old traditional rules that we continue to hold with respect. We have advanced training, if you're going to become part of the Black Belt Club, how you get there. We have leadership training here. We have communications, if it's a snow day, what do you do, how to check the website every day, so that you're always informed as best as you can be. Now here we have our core curriculum. We have our level 1 curriculum, all the different techniques that you have to know in great detail, along with lines of notes here so you can take different notes. Many of these things, some of the techniques come from my old training in the Bujinkan, some come from Toshindo, but most of them are written by me or variants of my own. So most of the stuff in here is completely original. Even in level 1, we start to work with weapons, a little bit of Hanbo Jutsu, because of all the different weapons, a short stick is probably something you're going to be most familiar with if you have an umbrella or something. We go into many different techniques here. Usually there's 2 or 3 techniques per month to learn, as well as a bunch of different drills, target training that we do, rolling skills, and certain weapons. And they're broken up into different months, so roughly every 2 or 3 months. As you can see here, here's something called Kinaguru, striking the tree, which is a technique I came up with, which has to do with a low type of gut punch, how you defend against that. And that will come up every 3 or 4 months. You will rotate these katas over and over again so that you get really good at them and you build muscle memory. We do not use katas where you're standing in front of the mirror very much, because you need to have someone fighting you to get good. And I mean that literally. To do katas in front of the mirror is good for solo training, it helps you build, but if you don't have a person with intent coming at you, resisting what you're doing, it's not going to work out on the street. So everything in here is designed for person against person, whether it's standing or sitting or on the ground. All of these things we work with another person. That's how you get better at self-defense. If you can make it through the first couple of belts and you don't quit, then you go into level 2, which is much more advanced. And here I break it down into the water and fire elements. We explain why this is more advanced training, what we expect from you at this level, how to become eligible for the Black Belt Club, and then optional samurai classes every Wednesday where we go into the old historical scrolls from the 9 lineages that we teach. How to supercharge your learning. So this is for people who really want to become an instructor. They're so inspired by this. They want to teach it, they want to coach, they want to pay it forward and give back, which is what life is really all about. So this is for those people who want to get deeper into the training, who want to help out at the dojo, maybe want to start their own school one day. So again, we have all the techniques for each month broken down in great detail. What's cool about these is we could throw this book out into society. You could buy one of these online, but it would do you no good, because it's like reading Greek. You can't understand what the techniques are unless you physically train, and don't forget that. That's an important aspect. Again, this is an in-house product. This is designed for our current students who are physically with us training. If you are an outsider, so to speak, and you get this book, you can understand a little bit of it, but if you're not physically training in these techniques, you're not going to understand how to move. It's just one spoke of the wheel. You need this material. This is the mental aspect of training. But then you also have to practice it physically. That's the second part. You need a person to work with, and you need to understand what we're writing. And the third part is you need a qualified instructor who's been around for decades, who can show you how to put the material into life, how to bring this to life. Because if it says here, drive your elbows back into his arms and rock your head back with a rear headbutt, or he grabs your arm, swing palm down to his groin, rock your head back, striking his forearm, catching his arm from below, turn inwards to the trapped arm, catch his hand, step around and jam his wrist back with finger splitting uragyak. This stuff is meaningless unless you're on the mat training. You can't forget that, because a lot of people like to collect books. They like to be technique collectors, but they actually don't know how to bring this to life, and that is no good. You can have 1,000 scrolls, but if you can't learn how to make a fist, it's not going to do you any good when the cosmos demands it and when you're physically challenged under duress. Again, but I digress, I go back. We have all these different techniques from fire and water, and all those elemental systems are, the Gogyo, they don't use this in Japan. It's just a great way of learning a mindset of how to defend yourself, how to move your body into position. So by using the 5 elements, water, fire, earth, wind, and the void, this just teaches you how to move your body and react in different ways when fear comes over you. When the chemicals take over and adrenaline is going and you're scared because someone's coming at you and trying to hurt you and harm you or your family, this teaches you, rather than having one way of defending, it teaches you 5 methods of defending. And this is really cool. Here, this is cool, Ganseki Nage. We did last night in Budo. We spent an hour in class on Ganseki Nage, Ganseki Otoshi, Ganseki Oshi, Ganseki Ori. We went over all the different types of throws so that when one breaks down, you have 4 other options. Then you can do it left and right, standing on the ground. It's endless. We spent an hour last night on this one little section of page 26 of this manual. You go on into May, June, December, all these different techniques, usually 3 or 4 a month. Then if you stick around long enough, you're into level 3 now. So now we're into the path of the protector. This is where you become much more than just a practitioner. Now you're in charge of more than one person. So we go into the elements of Fu here. We have the differences between self-defense, fighting, and martial arts, and there are grave differences between sport arts and Budo. The art of war is very different. This manual is teaching you how to defend yourself. It's the art of killing. I know that sounds gross. That's why you have to temper it with mental training. This is very serious stuff. This is not like some sort of sport art where you're kicking for points. This is how to destroy a human body and how to maim it so that you can survive. But with the legal repercussions, we discuss this in the book at length. We are in modern day America right now, 21st century, a litigious society. You have to know that if you hurt someone, if you poke their eye out, if you knee them, you're going to get sued, and what happens? Or if you're in school and you have a bully that's been picking on you and you slam that bully in the nose with a taisho ken, you're going to go to the principal's office, you're going to be expelled. So we teach the kids how to temper the physical with the mental so that you're not an aggressive person, you're not someone who seeks out fighting, you want to stop violence. That's what Bu means, to stop the spear. So in Path of the Protector, level 3, you have the differences here. Then we talk about the progress in your belts. Now you're becoming in the darker belts here. It's much more serious. Now that you're higher level, you have a lot of stuff to prepare for black belt. We go into our different curriculum here in the different months. Again, each of these pages has several techniques with a lot of pages for notes here. You go into some weapons defenses. Here's one I created called Skihara, which is a knife stab defense that really works. It's very practical on the street. It would work. It's not something hokey or something impractical. And we just go through, and we have a lot of pictures here to explain, like we have Mushadori, how to do that physically, and also in pictorial form to help people. We have our different wrist locks and things, reversals and takedowns, with some detailed charts here. And again, I know you can't see this in detail. How to earn your black belt. This is where people get a little bit nervous. Their nerves come into play. How do I go through my brown belt testing? This explains it, how to pass your tests. We have a mandatory history test that we take here at the dojo. Again, unlike other schools, I want you to know the history of the martial arts. I want you to know why this art is different. I want you to know the ancestry of it. I want you to know the different traditions that we teach and how it goes back to Hatsumi, to Takamatsu, to Toda. All these people, I want you to know. I want you to read and research. And people might say, well, why do we have to know the history? Well, if you're talking to your friends or you go to a party and they're like, what do you study? And you're like, I don't really know what I study. I don't know where it comes from. You're going to look like a fool. You need to know what you study. You need to care about it. And the more that you care, the better you'll do. So when you're asked a question, where does this come from? You will have a nice, solid answer. So you have to take a history test here and pass it. You have to know the 9 schools in English and Japanese. You need to know this stuff. This is serious training for those who want to delve into it. So the written test, the requirement planning aid for black belts. You have the feedback testing on Saturdays where we do brown belt testing, which is a rite of passage. It's something that I did when I was coming up as well. But we help you through this. This book will help you pass your tests. It's a guide to help you. Then, what happens after you earn your black belt? Because my gosh, training doesn't stop there. It actually begins. Black belt showdown means first step. So what do I do when I get my black belt? Well, there's a period of high there where you just got your new belt. You're all excited. Everyone's clapping for you. And then it goes down because the accolades are over with. And now you go to in the black belt level 4 class, you go from the front to the back. Now you're a beginner again, and that's the cycle of Budo, where every new cycle you get thrown back. Your ego gets crushed on purpose, and you get thrown in the back of the beginner line. So you have your senior black belts and your new black belts. And then other new people come up behind you, and now you're no longer the junior. Kohai and Senpai, that's something big in Japanese culture. But what happens after your black belt? Not just physically, but what will mentally happen? I talk about this in this book. How to earn your Sandan, your 3rd degree black belt, and get a Bushi title. How to get your 4th degree and earn your own warrior name. These are for people that are really serious about their training here at the dojo. These are not the quitters and the part-timers. These are the ones that want to carry the tradition on to the next generation. Along with our entire modern curriculum, which has 60-something techniques and endless variations, I have the classical curriculum here. So this is the old stuff from my Bujinkan training over the decades. This is the classical curriculum, what I call Gendai, the Koryu versus the Gendai martial arts. So you have the Heaven Scroll and all the different stances, all the different roles that you have to learn. This is optional, although we do this sometimes every Wednesday. Ski, Tai Sabaki, how to move your body. We have the Gogyo no Kata, the Kion Happo, which is a lifetime of training right in that section. Right here, this little section called Kion Happo. I don't know if you can see that. That's a lifetime of training. On page 41, this little section you could spend 10 years on and never master it. Then you have the Hoken Judopo, the 16 treasured fists of the ninja. The different strikes in English and Japanese we practice constantly on targets every day. You have the Chiryaku, the scroll of earth strategy. You have Hajutsu, when someone's grabbing you, the Torite, how to get out of different grabs, the Gyakuwaza, the reversals, the Nagewaza, the different throws of Budo, which we have a DVD on. So last night again we did the Nages. Next week we might do Gyaku Nage, who knows? Haraigoshi, there's a million different things to work on. All the Henka of the throws. God, I love this stuff, it's endless. Continuing into the scroll, you have the different chokes and how to get out of them, whether you're standing up or on the ground. The Keriwaza, the kicking. The Jin-Ryaku, the scroll of mankind. You have the sitting techniques, the grabbing techniques, the chokes, the punches and kick defenses, how to counter them. Attacks from behind. Haibuyori. Attacks in armor. How do they work in the armor? We discussed that at great length. How to use your weapons in training. Tonso no Gata from the Togakare Ryu. We have the Buki Waza, and I know this sounds foreign to you, I'm just excited. The Buki, the weapons. You have Hanbo, the short stick. All these different techniques of the Hanbo, so you can master a weapon. If you want to become the master of the sword, and I don't mean master literally, there's no such thing, but that's the word that people use. If you want to become an expert at the staff or an expert at the knife or something like that, you can choose your own style. As a black belt, I want you to become a unique student. I want you to be the go-to guy or the go-to girl for rolling, or the go-to guy for bow staff, or the go-to girl for kusari chain, or the expert at kicks, or the expert at the naginata. I want my students to become an expert at something. So here we have the hanbo, the tanto, the knife, if you want to become expert at the knife. We have the short sword, the kunai. We have the biken, the sword here. We have bojitsu if you want to be expert with the long staff. And again, I just did a seminar on this last weekend. We did a seminar on the basics of the bow. There'll be a DVD coming out soon, so I have all the different stances of the bow, the different strikes of the bow, 14 different strikes, and some of the basic movements. I'll do a more advanced DVD later. Jojutsu, the middle staff here. The yari, the spear. A lot of people love to see what the spear is, and different types of spears. If you want to learn the naginata. Then we have an entire curriculum on ground defenses. So on this here, this teaches you about how to defend yourself when you're on the ground. So modern day jiu-jitsu, UFC fighting, it all comes from this. It comes from the ancient Japanese art of jiu-jitsu, and here it is. We have this 30 ground flow drill called Sanju Nagare Newaza, and you have the Kihon fundamentals here, different types of ground movements. Here we have more strikes of the ninja, so the book contains charts, so you can see the different strikes. I have an entire chart here on pressure points and Kyusho, which are weak points to hit the body. Where do you strike to make someone vomit or to fall down because you've just pounded their liver, or where to hit in the throat and the eye. So we have an entire chart here of the different Kyusho, which means vital or weak point. We have the requirements for the youth students, what we expect of the young students, to try to mold them into powerful leaders of the future. So here at the dojo, we're very strict on etiquette. It's extremely important to learn how to present yourself to the world so that you can get a good job, continue a good education, and just be a good overall person. We have the different kamae, the stances, and I have descriptions of the stances and pictures of them for people. And it goes on and on. We have the 6 important rules of the mat. So how do you train with people? What's it like to train with people? What are some of the human dynamics you're going to experience? How to be careful and watch for safety and to be aware on the mat. And then we have a sleeve patch system here. So if you want, again, to become an instructor, how do I earn my different patches on my sleeve? What do I need to do? What are the requirements? How do I help coach? And what if I want to open my own dojo one day? This is the path, like a college path for those who want to instruct and to pay it forward into the next generation. And then I have a bit of philosophy because I have a degree in philosophy. I've written a little bit. This is just a story which keeps you focused mentally, what to expect, how to expect failure in training, how to ride the ups and downs of training. What do you do when you want to quit? Or if you decide that this isn't for you, or you get bored, or you're having a struggle somewhere. These are things that in this little story here that I've gone through that might help other people. So there you have it. It's almost 60 pages. It's a really nice manual. You can get this at the dojo. I do not recommend this for people out of town because, again, it's just going to be something that'll sit on your shelf. But if you don't practice physically, if you don't have a qualified instructor who can help you guide you through this book, it's not going to do you a lot of good. It's just going to gather dust. But I wanted to share that with you. It's now available at the dojo. It's $20, which is cheap for the quality that you have here. I would encourage you to invest in your training. And we carry this to class. I have my copy and I write notes in it. And what I do is whatever we work on, I write the date of the day that we worked on it so that I know that we worked on it this day and we can go back and review again. This is your Bible, this is your guide, this is it. So I just wanted to briefly show you guys that. And I have other curriculums for the higher black belts. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this short video. It may have been meaningless to you, that's okay too. But for those of you in the dojo, pick up your copy and start to bring it to every class so we can utilize it and find out all the secrets in here. Okay, we'll see you guys next time. I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you soon.